What's going on, Jeromes? We Minnesota Vikings fans have a stressful existence. Yes, we're fans of a 7-1 football team who has won 6 games in a row by single scores. It's tough. It's tough, man. But a win is a win is a win. And now, of course, we are here. This is where we are. I love it, man. I love it. So Monday, as we always do, here at the Top 10 Viking Storylines, Tell the Truth Monday. Or something like that. First up, number 1. This is an extremely fun team. And this does have vibes of 2017. That year, the Vikings won 8 games in a row in the middle of the season. And a lot of the games were tough, hard-fought affairs. And it kind of seems like that. Hopefully, obviously, with a better ending, especially since we know how 2017 ended in Philly. But I feel like this team is extremely good. And yet, you can't put your finger on it. Like, they should be winning these games by more, even though it is extremely tough and difficult to win a game in the National Football League. But that's what's exciting about it, because none of these wins are fluky. A lot of these games, the Vikings have been up against it and then just summon the cojones, the intestinal fortitude to come back and win at the end, whether it's a big defensive stop, the defense has made some fantastic plays over the last couple weeks, or Kirk Cousins and the offense march down and they do the damn thing and Greg Joseph doesn't miss. It's crazy, man. Leads into number 2. Winning like this is sustainable. Like I said, every single game can't be like the Eagles where you just blow a team out. That isn't going to happen, because guess what? The other team, they're professionals as well. And their coaches, they want to coach and they want to win the game so that they don't have to be unemployed and they don't have to move their family, right? So every single game, it is tough. It doesn't matter what the records are. It doesn't matter who you play. Every single win is an achievement in the National Football League, especially when you're on the road. And plus, the Vikings, I'm a big believer in momentum. And when the Vikings are winning these games, even when they're down, even in the second half, things are going their way, they just have that confidence like, hey, we've been here before, we can do this. And they find a way when all cylinders aren't firing. Like, the offense will have a bad day, the defense steps up. The defense is ass, thank you. The offense steps up. Special teams is good except for Greg Joseph and whatever. So I think that it's what's amazing is that, can the Vikings actually put together a 4-quarter game? Can we see that? Because they're probably going to need it in Buffalo, and they're certainly going to need it into the playoffs. Next up, number 3. Kirk is playing some of the best ball of his career. Yes, firmly believe it. Stat-wise, he's not putting up the gaudy Lulu numbers that he has in previous seasons, whether in Washington or Minnesota, but he's had 4 fourth-quarter game-winning drives. Detroit, the Saints, Chicago, and then the Washington game. That matters. Like, all of this talk that Kirk Cousins has been a garbage time stat stuffing quarterback and can't get it done in the clutch, all of a sudden he's clutch, and then Vikings fans are like, oh, but look at his stats. The only stats that matters is 6 in a row, 7-1. Also 4-0 in Kirktober, 1-0 in Kirkvember. That's right, man. Next up, truth number 4 on a Monday. TJ Hockenson is a star. So we were of the belief that, Hockenson will be sprinkled in here and there. He'll play some third down and red zone work, but no. Hockenson came in and basically played, like, I haven't seen the snap counts, but he's played like 70-80% of the snaps, something ridiculous like that. But 9 catches for 70 yards and 9 targets without really knowing the playbook. First time ever in a game with Kirk Cousins. First time ever with a lot of these teammates. It's amazing. And it speaks to his level of talent. This dude was wasted again in Margaritaville in Iowa, when Nate Stanley and the Ferentz were his quarterbacks and coaches respectively. And then with the Lions, you had Jared Goff, you had the remnants of Matthew Stafford, who then got traded, and he's had 3 different OCs, or he had 3 different OCs in Detroit. And now, I mean, Kevin O'Connell's just got to be salivating, because Hockenson is an ingredient that this offense was missing. Just the tall, third down, across the middle type target. And you saw how many times he moved the chains in big time spots. And just imagine what Hockenson is going to be once he gets a rapport with Kirk. Like, once he learns this entire offense, once he gets into a groove here. So, I mean, the sky's the limit. We said Darrisaw is 23. He'll be here. Jefferson is 23. He'll be here. Hawkinson's only 25. He'll be here. Those 3 will be the tent poles for the Vikings offense for many years to come. Next up, number 5. Danielle Hunter is back. I don't know if he's actually back. He was never authorized to leave. But Danielle Hunter, so quietly in the changeover from the 4-3 to the 3-4, Danielle has sort of gotten lost in the shuffle. But have you seen the last couple weeks, Donatel has kind of let him be more of a hand in the dirt, playing some of that 5-tech, 7-tech, wide 9 a little bit as well. And he's also rushing primarily on that left side of the defense, a.k.a. the right side of the offense. So, I mean, Danielle Hunter, he's still that guy. He's still getting after, man. 2-sack performance, 4 on the season. And even though Za'Darius is getting all the publicity, and rightfully so, Danielle is just rock solid, man. What Danielle does in the run game, what Danielle does to help free up the linebackers is still amazing, man. And he can still rush the quarterback. And I think the Vikings, they would be remiss if they let Danielle walk, but they do have to make a decision with his contract coming up next season. Next up, number 6, the Vikings need OBJ. I've said it a bunch. I'll keep saying it. The Vikings need that extra element. And they got one in Hockenson, but it's no accident that the Vikings were reportedly interested in Brandon Cooks. Now, it wasn't going to happen because Cooks' contract is garbage, but it's clear that the Vikings need an extra spark in the receiving game. Now, Thielen, respect. Adam Thielen is still Adam Thielen. KJ Osborne, I have a lot of hope for, and he's looked good in spurts, but we haven't quite seen him rise to the occasion quite yet. They need right now an elite a wide receiver 1B option, because Jefferson is still that guy. He's still getting that attention, still going to get his. But once all the attention goes there, and once Hockenson, once defenses start catering to him, who's going to be the person who gets open every single time? And yes, Thielen can still do it, but there's a reason why Kwesi was looking around. And OBJ, like, this is the perfect landing spot for him. Like, he's not going back to the Rams. They're out of contention. He's not going to the Cowboys, whatever. He's not going this, there, or the other thing. The Vikings have a ton of LSU guys. He's very tight with Danielle Hunter and Justin Jefferson and Patrick Peterson, Skull SU all up in here. Also, he knows the offense. Kevin O'Connell coming from the Rams. He was his OC last season. Wes Phillips is here. Can help get OBJ into the mix. So it will work. As soon as Odell Beckham Jr.'s knee is good to go, he's going to contribute somewhere in this league. And guess what? He gets his diva reputation mostly with the Giants and mainly with the Browns, but he was perfectly fine with the Rams last year. Like, didn't say a peep. Won a Super Bowl. I think that he can do the same thing here with the Vikings. Next up, number 7. The defense is getting better. So they came up with some big-time plays down the stretch against the Cardinals, called game, and also the Commies had only 214 yards of legitimate offense. Taking away that 49-yard Curtis Samuel, whatever, referee aided touchdown garbage. Get out of here. But 3 sacks on Heineke, 3 of 10 on third down, got an interception as well, and the defense is becoming opportunistic, and the pass rush is becoming elite, and the secondary is getting better. It just seems like it took a couple weeks, a month or so, for everyone to get really comfortable in their new roles, in the new scheme, but it does seem like Ed Dontel has this crew going in the right direction. So respect. I'm glad that they didn't fire him. Although, if they play poorly against the Bills, fire him. Next up, Darrisaw is an all-pro left tackle. Yes. And this isn't even hyperbole. Just big Christian Darrisaw is just an absolute monster at that left tackle spot. He absorbs dudes. He's fantastic in the running game. You saw what he did to Montez Sweat. I mean, Washington got a lot of pressure on Kirk Cousins. It wasn't necessarily on Christian Darrisaw. So, the fact that he's only in year 2 and he's still getting better, it's just amazing. And before the season, a lot of people were saying that the comparisons between him and Trent Williams were hyperbolic, but it may not be that crazy anymore, because Darrisaw has unreal size. He's got unreal strength and agility, and he's quiet, he's humble, he's very coachable, and he's a fantastic teammate. And he's just fantastic, man. Knock on, like, my goodness. Next up, truth number 9 on a Monday. Za'Darius Smith dominates the game even when he's not getting sacks. So Za'Darius, he had 1 sack, except his little thumbnail is on Taylor Heineke's face mask, so that's obviously a penalty. Get out of here. But Za'Darius Smith, you saw, like, after he had his 3-sack performance against the Cardinals, NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He was also October NFC Defensive Player of the Month. Washington was keyed in on 55. Wherever he went, they watched. They double-teamed him. They chipped him. They did everything they could, and that freed up the rest of the defense. And guess what? When you're playing 10 on 9, It's a completely different ball game. So every time Za'Darius gets a double, guess what? Danielle Hunter is singled up. Guess what? DJ Wanham, when they play 3 edges on the field, he's singled up. And he just creates opportunities. And then guess what? Once you go back to singling everyone up, then Za'Darius Smith still destroys you. Or he beats the double team. All right, so it's just value free agent of the year. Hockenson may be the trade of the year. Kwesi, executive of the year. Might be coming, man. Lastly, number 10. This team can win the Super Bowl. I understand that we're only going into week 10. Do not care. And I understand that week 2, the Eagles handed the Vikings their lunch. Do you think this team is slightly different than it was week 2? Yes. I mean, they've been through the battles. They've been through the wars. They've won these 6 games. And once they put together a complete game, this team is going to be dangerous, man, because think of where this team is going to be at the end of the season, where they're fully settled into the offense, the defense, and teams. TJ Hockenson is fully a part of this offense. And guess what? If you pick up OBJ, this team, this offense could go toe-to-toe with anyone. The defense can get after any quarterback's ass. The secondary can pick you off, and special teams is going to get after it. And also Ryan Boomer Wright is still one of the best punters in the National Football League. So this team can win the Super Bowl. Yes, it's going to be tough. Barring Philly slipping up, you're probably going to have to go to Philly in the NFC title game and get a W. And I understand that it didn't go well last time, but guess what? This team is different. This team is different, man. And that's telling the truth. Tell the truth. That's right, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Top 10 Viking storylines on Tell the Truth Monday. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.